When I was young, me and my mama.
Welcome back, everyone, and happy Monday. Hope you had a great Halloween weekend. I know I did, and I'm here to recap some of the cool events that transpired. Starting off for Friday, we got all new episodes of Stranger Things. Additionally, the dropping of new episodes kicked off a weekend of Halloween festivities, starting with Friday night that went through Saturday and well into Sunday evening. Many of us, including some of our favorite celebrities, got in on the cosplay action. And then when everyone got home, we had a new episode of Walking Dead waiting for us. But that's not all that went down this weekend. There were some shocking revelations prior to and during the weekend. The first of those revelations coming in Friday when reports surfaced that the first charges filed into the investigation of the alleged Russia involvement in the 2016 presidential election were approved and could be unsealed as early as Monday. That's today. And then on Sunday we got another bombshell, which is undoubtedly more fallout from the Harvey Weinstein allegations. Actor Anthony Rapp has come forward and accused actor Kevin Spacey of making an inappropriate advance towards him while he was still a minor. Stick around now as I discuss my initial reactions to the new episodes of Stranger Things, my favorite celebrity costumes from the weekend, Walking Dead's latest episode, and its commercials problem, the federal charges against 2 former Trump employees, and Kevin Spacey's response to Anthony Rapp's allegations, and then the public's response to his response. So hang tight with me, guys. Let's get into some of the topics. Let's kick this off by talking about Stranger Things. So I'm only about 3 episodes in, and I'm already confused. I mean, it starts off easy enough to follow. It takes place a year later, and they reintroduce us to all the same characters, including Eleven, who has been in hiding this past year. Turns out the sheriff Jim Hopper is able to track her down, setting Eggo waffles as a trap, luring device, I don't know. So he's now playing a father figure to Eleven in some cabin deep in the woods, while the other kids kind of get on with their youth. They get in their costumes ready to go trick-or-treating, they're going to school, they're meeting new friends. Everything seems pretty peachy, except when we last left off with Will, he spit out some nasty thing from his mouth that left us wondering, is he really going to be okay? Or is his time in the Upside Down going to have a lasting effect on him in the real world? Well, so far it's evident that that would be true. Will seems to be caught in between the real world and the Upside Down, having flashes or dreams about creatures stalking him in the real world. One minute he's hanging out with his friends at the arcade, next minute he's having flashes of this shadow creature taunting him from the distance. It's interesting. It's leading up to something big, it seems, involving Will and the Upside Down. Will he be dragged back somehow? They have introduced a couple new characters, one of them being Bob, which is Will's mom's boyfriend out of nowhere. Interesting enough, he's the guy who plays the Hobbit, or one of the Hobbits. It's kind of weird. They don't seem like a perfect match, but you know, opposites attract, I guess. Coincidentally enough, he's the one that offers up Will the advice that he should face his fears, aka demons, just like he once did in his nightmares, which made them stop. Unfortunately, this advice backfires for Will because it allows the demon or shadow creature or whatever it is to basically possess his body. Since typically Will would run away and be awoken from his hallucinations or whatever you want to call them, he'd essentially be saved from the shadow monster, but because he took the advice of his stepdad or mom's boyfriend, he decides to stop running and face it, and that gives this creature the opportunity to possess Will. Eleven kind of had a fit because she wants to leave the enclosure of the cabin. She hasn't been able to see her friends, and of course the sheriff is doing this to protect her and them. Because once the FBI or secret society scientists or whatever the hell they are figure out where she is, they're undoubtedly going to want to take her back and continue experimenting on her. So they are naturally at odds because she wants her freedom. She's still a child and she wants to discover her inner youth. And also there's some hints as to her wanting to find out who her mother is. Last but not least, Dustin has made a couple new friends. One of them is a girl who he found breaking his records at the arcade. She seems from out of town, along with her brother figure, who doesn't seem to like her, or anyone for that matter, who isn't a smoking hot chick. He's pompous. He's been going at it with Steven on the basketball court, shirtless all the time. And he definitely wears eyeliner. Not that that has anything to do with anything, but I just thought it was interesting to add. And then the last new friend I can think of is D'Artagnan. He happens to be actually the slug or creature that Will spit up at the end of last season. So you have not seen the last of him if you haven't got caught up yet. And moving on, I said I'd talk about some of my favorite celebrity costumes for the weekend. Now, I love when celebrities get in on the action because, you know, it shows us that, you know, they're regular people too sometimes. Of course, you know, regular people with lots and lots and lots of money and notoriety and fame and yeah. But yeah, it's still cool. You know, it makes it something that we can relate to. So without further ado, here's my list of my favorite celebrity costumes for the weekend. First, Will Poulter went as Sid from Toy Story. How freaking cool is that? And this dude nails it. I mean, and of course, he already has a striking resemblance to him, which I never noticed before. So kudos to him or the fans for pointing out and for him to execute it. It was brilliant. I loved it. Next, we have Demi Lovato as Selena. This was clutch. I thought, man, as soon as I saw her, I knew exactly who she was. So really kudos to her because your costume is awesome. Selena for sure, without a question. Next person on my list is Karlie Kloss as Marilyn Monroe. Perfect. Perfect. Nas went as Richard Pryor, which has me cracking up. Nas actually is notorious for having some really dope Halloween costumes. This dude's outrageous and he goes all in, so I appreciate that. Next, we have Kaya Gerber, who I believe unwittingly went as Elvira Hancock from Scarface. Elvira! Yeah, no, for real. Like, if you put her next to a picture of Michelle Pfeiffer playing Elvira, it's uncanny. And I don't think it's intentional. All her captions reference the 70s and nothing about Scarface or Elvira, but she nailed it. Next, hands down, my favorite celebrity costumer of the weekend, Kim Kardashian. She slayed it. All 3 times. First, I don't know if it's first, second, last, I don't know. But first, I'm going to talk about her being dressed up as Cher, slayed. Then she dressed up as Aaliyah, and my goodness, girl, you are killing it. And then for the grand finale, her and Courtney dressed up as Madonna and Michael Jackson from the Oscars. And let me tell you, they slayed it. Danielle and I dressed up the same, and I'm kind of embarrassed to show you this side-by-side photo, but it must be done. Of course, like I said, they've got more resources than we do, so I mean, it just stands to reason that they'd be able to slay it, and that's why there's really no excuse for other celebrities not to do the same. This is why my list, I feel, is like, you know, full of the ones that really, really, really nailed it on the head. Thank you, Kim Kardashian, for showing us how it's done. But that's it for Halloween costumes regarding celebrities. Thank you guys for joining on the fun, and you know, thank you guys for showing us, hey man, you guys are regular people sometimes too, and you like enjoy the little things. Next up, we have The Walking Dead. So it picks up where last episode left off, with our heroes basically on a full-on attack against Negan and his minions, or his Negans, or his whatever you want to call it. Now the assault continues with them split up doing coordinated assaults on Negan's outposts. A lot of gunfighting, a lot of killing, mostly on the side of the good guys. I believe we lost maybe 2 good guys, and it looked like we were about to lose Morgan, but it was a close call, but he made it. The episode ends with Rick at gunpoint from Morales, of all people. I don't know if you guys remember Morales, but he just came out of nowhere back from Atlanta days. Like, these guys were allies. These guys were going at the bad guys together. Well, they weren't really bad guys back then. They were just zombies. Zombies were the only bad guys. But I mean, he's holding a gun to Rick. Rick recognizes him. He recognizes Rick. And he's just like, man, that was a long time ago, man. You just killed my buddy, my partner, my counterpart, my fellow Negan. I don't know. Either way, it's getting real. But that's not all I want to talk about, though. I also want to talk about the commercials. Like, Walking Dead has literally become a commercial success, and therefore they've decided to just bombard you with commercials during the filming. Like, literally, I can't even watch the next episode live. I can't do it. You come in, you get about 2 minutes of footage from the episode, and then bam, they go into commercial. And the episodes are getting longer and longer, but it's really just to fill you with more ads. They're just trying to make more money. It's ridiculous. I literally had so much trouble watching it on Sunday that at times I was losing interest, because every minute, every time I looked up, it was a commercial. So yeah, I'm done. I will no longer be watching The Walking Dead on Sundays, or, you know, right when it airs. I'll be streaming it afterwards because I just can't do it with the commercials. So that wraps up the Halloween portion of my video. All in all, still a great weekend. You know, Stranger Things is shaping up to be a decent follow-up to season 1. Celebrity costumes were awesome. Halloween festivities were fun for myself and my friends. And then The Walking Dead was good. It was action-packed. The commercials really put a damper on the mood while watching, but that can easily be solved by just waiting an additional hour for it to be put onto streaming platforms after it airs live, or even the next day. I'm not picky. Now for some of the bombshells that occurred before and during the weekend. First thing, right, is the charges against the persons they feel have ties to Russia and money laundering and so forth and so forth. Basically, they're charging these people with conspiracy to defraud the government, to betray the government, to put our national security at risk, so forth and so on. So today, arrest warrants were issued for Paul Manafort and Rick Gates. They have both at this time surrendered to the FBI. Both of these guys are former Trump campaign officials. Paul Manafort is a former Trump campaign chairman, and Rick Gates is a former Trump campaign official. Now this is a serious blow to the Trump campaign, especially to the naysayers who said that there's nothing to the Russian collusion. Believe me, I was one of them. I used to think that the Russia angle was just to take focus off of the Democrats and their failings as an organization. But it seems that there is some truth there, because there are people who have been pleading guilty to lying to the FBI regarding the Russia investigation. One of those people, George Papadopoulos, is a former foreign policy advisor to Donald Trump. So basically what I'm saying here is not necessarily do we have the smoking gun yet, but we have a trail of breadcrumbs that show people have not been honest regarding the Russia contacts. And 2 of those people have just been taken into custody. That is serious. Mainly because these people aren't just anybody. They're people closely tied to Donald Trump at one point, our president. So stay close to the story. Be sure to follow it. It's still breaking. I will likely have more comment on it as the story unfolds. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is this Kevin Spacey situation. Now, as I've said, actor Anthony Rapp has come out and said when he was still a minor, he was assaulted by Kevin Spacey. And the real revelation here is that Spacey has not denied it. He didn't necessarily confirm it either. He says he doesn't recall, and if it did happen, he had to have been very drunk when it did. But he sent an apology, and then at the same time came out of the closet. So let's tackle one thing at a time. Let's first talk about Kevin Spacey not explicitly denying it, right? So that shows that he takes some kind of accountability for what may or may not have happened. And I mean, kudos to him. That's a lot more than a lot of people have done regarding serious allegations such as this. This is a minor we're talking about here. There are a few things more concerning to the American public than pedophilia, okay? So for him to not openly and vehemently deny it, that shows at least he's taken some sort of responsibility. He didn't outright say, hey, I did this, I'm sorry. So I'm not gonna go full and say, oh, he's just, this, awesome, repentive human being. But he didn't say, hey, that never happened. Oh, I don't remember it, so it didn't happen. He didn't automatically victimize the victim. However, some people are taking exception with the second part of his statement where he comes out. And they're saying that it automatically links being gay to pedophilia. They're accusing him of deflecting from the situation by simultaneously coming out of the closet. How I personally feel about this, honestly, I have no idea. I'm still processing this. I know a lot of people are, and that's why I brought it up. A lot of people are very angry. They don't like that he's taking this route. He may have done so in a way that he felt was just him being honest and open and dealing with some rumors that may or may not have been out there about his sexuality. Maybe he did use it as a way to deflect and gain some sympathy from the LGBT community, but it's definitely backfired if that was the case, because now they feel that he's painted a broader target on their backs. And I think they have reason to do so. It doesn't look good. The naysayers, the people who say homophobia is a gateway or leads to or perpetuates pedophilia, this doesn't look good. He's accused of coming on to a minor, and rather than just apologize and end his apology there and then deal with the consequences thereafter, he decides to take that opportunity to say, oh, by the way, I'm gay, which I think people would have assumed anyway if you just took responsibility from it. I think by adding the additional statement, I think that's what made people take pause a little bit and say, oh wow, he really is not taking responsibility for his actions. He's actually just trying his best to you know, to kind of get off a little bit. No pun intended there. Those are the topics I want to talk to you about. If they resonated with you, please comment. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope to hear from you guys soon.